Many researchers have long assumed that thick cushion running shoes have clinical benefits because the soft, thick, compressible underfoot materials may yield reduced harmful impacts during running. Furthermore, many runners have the habit of thinking and assuming that the thicker the underfoot cushioning of a running shoe, the more protection from impact during running, which in turn may translate into reduced risk of injury. Subsequent studies, however, have found the opposite to be true in that running in thickly cushioned running shoes, especially if you land with a heel strike landing pattern during running, actually causes a runner to slam their foot on the ground more hard in these types of running shoes because the foot is trying to push through all that thick material to reach a more sturdy, stable, and secure landing surface. And this was revealed by Dr. Stephen Robbins, a well-known barefoot advocate. From this, the result of heel strike running in thick cushion running shoes may be greater push force with the foot and a potential impact-related injury or a hyperextended injury may emerge. Not to mention, it's always good to keep in mind that the majority of studies have failed to reveal any strong benefits of using cushioned traditional running shoes in the prevention of impact-related injuries. This story has been played out before because the injury rate among joggers remains too high despite all the advancements in running shoe technology. Most notably, another novel explanation for the known link between thick cushioned running shoes and injury comes from, in my opinion, one of the most two influential barefoot running advocates, Dr. Stephen Robbins and Christopher McDougall, author of the bestseller Born to Run. Another reason these experts recognize thickly cushioned running shoes as a form of a mechanical interference during running is because these types of running shoes may deter runners from landing more stably with the ground, as much of the research Dr. Stephen Robbins has provided us firmly concludes that one of the reasons many shod runners wrestle with all kinds of ankle injuries is due to the fact that their cushioned running shoes has an instant destabilizing effect on balance control, making injury-free running almost virtually impossible. We also know that from Dr. Robbins and Christopher McDougall's work that the thick underfoot cushioning of a running shoe makes heel strike running feel comfortable, but does not diminish the high impact attached to heel strike during running. It's because of the high impact nature of heel strike running. Despite wearing thickly cushioned traditional running shoes, many runners end up switching to forefoot strike running on the basis that there's a massive reduction in high impact variables, which may certainly help pave the way for better injury preventative measures. It has also been said that one of the surest, most effective ways to correct a heel strike landing pattern during running and properly learn to adopt a forefoot strike landing pattern that is soft, more responsive, and a low impact is to do so by running barefoot. But not by running barefoot on grass, but by running barefoot on pavement, because much of the work done by Christopher McDougall and Dr. Stephen Robbins regarding the health and performance benefits of barefoot running reminds us that universal components of barefoot running on pavement is not only better balance stability, but heel strike avoidance behavior, because the hardness of the ground on the bare foot gives a big surge in additional sensory insights that will certainly help fuel a non-heel strike landing pattern. To this point, some studies have found that running barefoot on a soft padded surface is almost equally as hazardous and dangerous and destabilizing as running in a soft cushioned running shoe, whereby some studies have found that runners who went from running in thickly cushioned running shoes to running barefoot on a soft matted surface landed with a 20% increased vertical impact, which is an impact variable most often strongly associated with a heel strike landing pattern, which tells me that most likely these runners retained the same heel strike running style when wearing shoes when they ran barefoot on a softer surface. Therefore, running barefoot on softer running surfaces like a matted surface or grass may make heel strike running more easily to sustain. Heel strike running on softer surfaces while running barefoot may feel comfortable just like it would if you were to heel strike in a cushioned running shoe. But also remember, just because heel strike running feels comfortable on the heel, whether you run barefoot on grass or run barefoot on a matted surface, or heel strike while running in thickly cushioned running shoes, doesn't mean that impact is lower or reduced. Heel strike running naturally produces a host of impact variables despite running surfaces, which may also welcome more injuries as compared with forefoot running. Therefore, injury prevention in running really does depend on foot strike pattern, which is greatly influenced by running surface. This is why you should really look forward to running barefoot on pavement in efforts to properly accomplish more fully correcting a forceful heel strike landing pattern, because when you run barefoot on pavement, you are in a much better sensory position to feel the call loud and clear with your foot to urge you to avoid making initial contact on your heel and land more softly on the front part of your foot or your forefoot. The hardness of the pavement is going to provide high densities in sensory substance when running barefoot on pavement, which is going to increasingly give you that sensory thrust to reflexively urge you to easily help you pursue a lighter forefoot strike landing pattern with a reduced stride length and a higher cadence rate. And this is what the pure hype and the popular frenzy of barefoot running on pavement is all about, because as clearly identified by Dr. Robbins and Christopher McDougall, tapping into the enormous sensory dynamics when running barefoot on pavement, the repeated pulses of the hardness feeling of running barefoot on pavement is going to be more sensory assistive and helping you organize your biomechanics in reflexive ways so that you end up landing with better landing stability and with less bone fracturing impacts. In contrast, learning forefoot running by running barefoot on grass may offer significantly less mechanical benefits over barefoot running on pavement, simply because of the undersized intensity in sensory stimulation. When you first run barefoot on grass, there's much less boldness and sensory resolution, the kind that is needed to make heel strike running hurt like it does when you run barefoot on pavement. It's for this reason that running barefoot on softer surfaces like grass may very often hijack your forefoot strike landing mechanics and may also undermine your dynamic balance control, especially if you have weak ankles. Now, keep in mind that barefoot running on pavement will directly strengthen all angles of your ankles, and after a while of making the right adaptations from running barefoot on pavement, where your forefoot strike landing is more hardwired and more programmed into your muscle memory, then certainly you can go run barefoot on grass. I'm not saying to never run barefoot on grass. I'm essentially suggesting that avoid running barefoot on grass if you are a heel strike runner transitioning to forefoot running, but is experiencing a raft of problems, because running barefoot on grass is essentially not the same sensory experience as running barefoot on pavement. When running barefoot on grass, there's a much lower tactile resolution and very limited composition of sensory stimulation needed to fully and effectively help you stay clear of heel striking in a sustained way. Christopher McDougall and Dr. Stephen Robbins always do a really good job at reminding us that running barefoot on pavement is a much better sensory barometer for expanding your capacity to help you resist heel striking in a sustained way. So I just wanted to make this video as a strong reminder that running barefoot on pavement, specifically for those learning forefoot running, has a stronger effect on producing a more stimulative change by supplying you with more solid sensory cues to help reinforce a more accurate and precise forefoot strike landing pattern, and also helps string together other beneficial biomechanical components like reduced ground contact time and a higher step rate or a higher step frequency that are needed to form the base of low impact running and give you a much better shot at avoiding all kinds of impact related muscle and bony injuries. If you're interested in reading more about Dr. Robbins as well as Christopher McDougall's insights and work on barefoot running, I provided their links down below in the description box. I hope you enjoyed this video. To stay up to date on all the latest research regarding the health and performance benefits of barefoot running as well as minimalist running and forefoot running, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and please follow me on social media, and I provided all of those links down below in the description box as well. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have fun out there on the roads and trails. Bye for now.